Hello, everyone. My name is Radhakrishnan. I am a commercial photographer based out of Mumbai, and I'm also an X-Rite Colorati master and also a YouTuber at Pixel Village. So we're going to be talking about color and how you can achieve good colors using Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop, and of course, with the help of some fantastic monitors from ASUS. I'm going to be using the PA279CV, and this one is the PA148 CTV. It's a touch panel. Both are from the Pro Art series. So to today's topic about color. Now, in the web designing world, there is this famous or popular acronym called the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. I think it is more relevant to a photographer than a web designer because we work with colors, all right. But WYSIWYG means what you see is what you get. And in a photographer's world, I would replace the Y with an I, saying that what I see is ideally what you should get. But in real world scenario, we see that it happens, but it doesn't happen by default. That's probably because though the digital world has really enabled you to handle colors across the platform with relative ease by putting these international color consortium standards by way of using profiles, we still don't really get them, primarily due to, let's say, lack of real understanding, or probably due to this carelessness, saying that, look, I bought the best camera, I bought the best computer, color should come by default. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So one must really understand the importance of handling color, especially the color profiles, throughout your workflow in order to let the viewer see what you saw as a photographer. I should actually make sure that what left from my studio is what I saw. After which you don't have too much of control on it, except that if the person down the line follows that same discipline, then of course you will start getting it. So we have to start with a good monitor. A good monitor which is calibratable and also capable of showing you the colors that you have shot. Okay? Which means your camera, your display, and your target device all should be calibrated. If at any point, if your calibration goes out, at that point you will start seeing false colors. Chances are that you will see false colors and brightness and contrast there. So you need to start with a great monitor. Here we are starting with a fantastic monitor, a 4K monitor from ASUS, the PA279CV, which can reproduce 100% of sRGB and 100% of Rec 709. Now, the sRGB is something which is predominantly used in the internet world, and for all practical purposes, digital printing is also perfectly okay with sRGB. Now, you must do a little bit of additional reading about color consortium, color profiles, and what is sRGB and what is Adobe RGB and what is Rec 709. Now, these two monitors are actually Kalman certified for color accuracy. One, and it is also has a delta, it's the error value, which is less than 2. These two monitors, to show you excellent colors, you must keep them in ideal viewing conditions, which basically means that no flaring. You should have even lighting at the backdrop, preferably a 5600 Kelvin colors, or at least the color should not vary during your work times. If it happens, you will start seeing false colors. So if that is the way you're going to work with this, just go to the menu, pick the kind of color calibration that requires. You have lots of color calibration profiles available in the monitor. Pick that and start using it instantly. In order to do that, you need to go to, of course, you to run the Lightroom edit menu, preferences, and in preferences, external editing, and you need to pick an appropriate setting here. So I personally prefer to edit in TIFF, okay, not in JPEG. JPEG, I would use the JPEG for distribution, but for me to create my master file, I will use a TIFF, and preferably in Adobe RGB. But since predominantly my target is sRGB, and I'm going to pick sRGB as an option. My resolution, I come from the print world, so I keep it as 300 dpi, and I don't use any compression. So which means whenever I click process here and open on Photoshop, it will pick TIFF, sRGB, and a 16-bit file, which means it's got maximum information, and it will open up in Photoshop. Now, once that is done, okay, the system understands that this is my preference. What you are looking at here is my raw file. It contains everything. And now I have to start working on these images. When I look at it, it's a perfectly exposed image. Let me see if I go have something else. Yeah, this one probably have some overexposed area, so I will start working on it. For working, ASUS has a very interesting feature in the in this particular touch panel. So it's called the control panel. It's basically allow me to have a very intuitive way of using the Lightroom controls using this particular touch screen. Well, typically we would use the mouse or an external device, but this has a two-in-one usage. Well, I need to activate it in control settings, activate it. So this is the kind of screen that I will get. When I enable, I can use that particular thing called the control panel with almost all Adobe softwares. So Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, After Effects, all are supported. So once I apply, I get the control panel. It looks something like this, and it is customizable. So all these keys can be custom. You know what a customizable feature is. So I can pick any of these, go to the control panel setup, and customize this. And I can use this, as a touch panel to zoom. I can control the clarity here. I have, quick controls to, rotate the image. Just touch and it rotates. It can stack, it can undo and redo, I can flag, I can unflag, I can reject, I can do a whole lot of things. Now, when I look at this image and look at the corresponding histogram, I see this image as a little kind of overexposed. The highlights are a little blonde, but I've shot raw, so I can actually control this image. The first thing I'll do is to reduce the white a little. Okay, so I've reduced, and I can also see corresponding changes happening here, and then I'll pull the highlight a little. So when I look at the histogram, I can see that it has now come in to the usable gamut. Now what I'm going to do is to open up the shadows a little. So I'm going to open the blacks a little. The saturation is perfect. Both files are being opened now. Go to Windows and arrange them side by side. These are two images. This one is worked on another computer. This one is worked on this monitor. Now this, as you can see, this is kind of gone green and cold. This is now nice and warm. Work with best tools. A 4K monitor, a 27-inch monitor. I told you it is the PA279CV, which is Calman certified calibratable monitor. And here I have the 148CV. I also use this when I shoot outdoors. This is my monitor. I mean, when you shoot outdoors, your LCD of your camera will not really kind of give you good color reproduction. In such cases, I connect and play it onto this monitor and see if I've got everything right. So I use this small smart monitor as my preview monitor as well when I go out. So that's what my workflow is. Very simple. This is the best I can explain in the time given to me. So this is Radhakrishnan signing off. Hope to meet you soon with another episode on color. Bye for now.